knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Lord's chosen people according to the Bible. How I always start the class is that we're the Israelites. But guess what? If we're not the Israelites, then who is? If we're not the 12 tribes of Israel, then who is the 12 tribes? None of your religious teachers was teaching who the 12 tribes are. None of your pastors, none of your churches taught you who the 12 tribes are. Even to this day, nobody else says this is the tribe of Zebulun, Ephraim, and has the whole 12. None of your religious leaders have that information and the knowledge. How come they never taught you that? How come they never broke it down for you? It's because they don't have the truth. They don't know anything about this Bible. They don't know who the 12 tribes are. They don't know who the people of the Lord are. That's where we come in. You understand? If we not and not only that, if we're not the Israelites, then who are we? Who is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? You erase the history. What's the history? What language was we speaking before? What's our culture? What's our customs? Before slavery. If you're Dominican out there, we live today from Dominican Republic, right? Here with Trooper Tawagi, Ephraimite brother from the tribe of Ephraim, Puerto Rico. Before the white man came, what was the language? What was the history? The wordsmith said, Lemuria is the history. You don't have no clue what the history is. They ain't teaching it to you in your schools. They're not teaching it to you in your churches. You have no clue. We got this should tell you how many people is in watching. We have no clue you have no clue who you are, where you come from, if you black, Hispanic, and Native American. Before slavery, what was the language? What was the names of the tribes? What was the names of the streets we was living on? What's the names of any of the information of our ancestors? It's been 400 years. We know nothing. But you want to say the Israelite School of UPK is wrong. That we're not teaching the truth. That we're, you guys don't know what you're talking about. We this and that. When you don't even know who you are. You have no clue. He said from Egypt. From Egypt? How are you from Egypt? Where's the proof? Everybody wants to say they're from Egypt. There's only a small amount of people in Egypt. Somebody says it's been 5 billion a year. I don't know what you mean by that. But Tonio, when you talking about you from Egypt, where's the records? We have records that we Israelites. You look at the map, the 1776 map, it's in the Library of Congress right now. On the west coast of Africa, it says the Kingdom of Judah. We got the history of the records where Christopher Columbus came here to the Americas and he brought a Hebrew translator to translate the words of the Tainos and the Boricuas and all the natives here. The stones that's in Hebrew here in America. You said we in Egypt. We was in Egypt. Where else was there pyramids? Here in South America. The biggest pyramids ain't in Egypt. They in South America because we built them in Egypt. Somebody say Yaqub is the truth. That's what we teaching. Yaqub is Jacob in the Bible, man. Y'all just don't have the right understanding of that. Yaqub, the big head scientist, that's Jacob. That's Jacob in the Bible. Somebody says, also when black man was free, if he chose to stay, he got 40 acres in the mule. That's a damn lie. That's a lie that the oppressor taught you, man. He taught you, well, he gave us 40 acres in the mule. The oppressor ain't gave nobody nothing but destruction and lies. That's all the oppressor has. He ain't give nobody nothing. Somebody said the tribe of Simeon, Dominicans. Yes, that's the tribe of Simeon. If not stayed, they got a free ride back to Africa. That's what's been taught. Who the hell taught you that? Who the hell taught you? Whoever taught you that, get your money back. That's a load of garbage that you've been taught, man. And that's the problem with you when y'all learning these things. This I remember I was talking to a sister. She said, "Oh, I've learned about Black people. I learned about our history. I studied African American studies in college." Who's your teacher? An oppressor? How's the oppressor going to teach you about your own history? Somebody said American history, public schools. That's a whole joke. The public school system is a whole joke. They don't have no knowledge to teach you. All they teach you is slavery, civil rights, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Rosetta, the sister sat on that bus, and then here we are today. That's all you was taught. That's all you were taught. Let me see if I get some few scriptures out here too. Somebody said pyramids in Xi'an, China. I am Wichita. I know who I am. Wichita, what you a Native American? You a Native American? Because there's more history than that. There's more. How did you get over here to the Americas? Before everybody was over here in the Americas, everybody was on the other side of the world. You do your history, they teach you that. They teach you, they say what? They came over to Bering Strait into Alaska, all the natives. So that's what the oppressor teaches. If they came over from Alaska, walked down, and then came into America from Alaska, from Russia, on the other side of the world, which is they're telling you that people didn't start over here. Everybody started on the other side of the world. That's fact. You can't argue that. There's no way around it. Everybody started on the other side of the world. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, natives, everyone. How did they teach you the Wichita tribe? What's the word, the knowledge on how you got over here? Huh? Somebody want to join the live. I never really did that. Let me see if I can get them. Try to get back on the live. We haven't really put people on the live with us, but tonight we'll try it out. We live from Dominican Republic today. Normally we in Indianapolis and to school, but we live from Dominican Republic today, teaching the brothers the truth out here. Somebody said define oppressor. Who you pay your taxes to? Who's taxing you? Taxation without representation. Who's that? That's the oppressor right there. The one who's collecting all the money. That's the oppressor. Somebody said, can I be invited to the next Black Panther party? Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, welcome. 12 tribes of Israel, welcome. If you can move that menorah over a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
All right. Somebody said they also quit teaching about other stuff. That's it right there. It's good. Somebody said, bro doesn't even know who the sister that sat on the bus. That's what I'm talking about. The oppressor teach you what's important. Mm-hmm. And you think the sister that fought for us our rights to sit on the bus is important. Let me ask you this. What's the name of the man that invented the light bulb? What's the name? Since you worried about the sister that sat on the bus so we can sit on the bus with the oppressor, you should obviously know this brother. Who's the brother that discovered the filament to make these light bulbs work? What's his name? All right, then. You don't know. It's Lewis Latimer. Check the patent. You think Thomas Edison discovered the light bulb. He ain't do it. He just owned the company. It was a black man that discovered the filament that worked. Who's the greatest agricultural scientist that ever lived? Since you know who sat on the bus, you know a sister that sat on the bus, you should know one of the best, greatest black scientists. And he ain't even just the greatest black. He's just one of the greatest scientists, period. You should know his name, George Washington Carver. This is what I'm telling you. You letting the oppressor tell you what's important. You letting the oppressor is teaching us what we should remember. When we're not even remembering the real history. The Lord, the only way we get the real history is through the Spirit of the Lord and through these scriptures. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Somebody said he was smart enough to profit from it. And it wasn't about being smart. It wasn't about being smart. His the oppressor was more barbaric than anybody else. When the oppressor came here to the Americas, you think he was just so smart? The people that was already here, the tribes, the 10 tribes that was already here, Mexico City, it was Tenochtitlan. It was the most advanced city and advanced civilization in the world at that time. Talking irrigation throughout the whole city, where modern day Mexico City is right now, was the most advanced ancient city of its day. You talk London, nothing. Beijing, nothing. All the Laos, all them places was nothing compared to Mexico City. Had an irrigation system with the whole. It was amazing. If you do ever do the research on that, they had so much advanced technology. Even the Incas down in South America, in Peru, in Chile, down in the Andes Mountains, they had great technology. They had a great system of moving and communicating in money and everything like that. You think when the oppressor came over here, he showed them something they didn't know? He ain't showed them nothing. When he came over here, all he brought was disease. Look at the numbers of how many died from the disease he brought. Even to this day, you can't go into the Amazon and make contact with them tribes in the Amazon. It's illegal. Why is it illegal? Because of the transmission of the diseases that the oppressor brings. It will wipe out an entire tribe. It will wipe out an entire village just from one oppressor getting in there and bringing some disease, some syphilis, or some anything that he got. The oppressor came here and did wickedness to get on top. It wasn't because he was so smart. Let's get back to the comment section. Hold on a second. Let's skip it. Let me get back to the comment section, see what else somebody else got. Somebody said, I'm Yaqub's son. Yaqub had 12 sons. The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Somebody said we was the original Israelites and she and this and that. We were. We are. We still are. There's so much history. It'll blow your mind away once we get into the history of the scriptures. Somebody said, blaming someone else, nothing changes. How are we blaming somebody else by claiming who we are? By saying we the Israelites. How was that blaming somebody else? We telling you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the 12 tribes of Israel. Mm-hmm. Somebody said we were the original everything. History has been whitewashed. History has been washed, but we were not the original everything. The scriptures say the 12 tribes of Israel was the smallest of all the nations. We were the smallest of all the nations. It was all other nations, the Hamites, the Canaanites, the Moabites, Ammonites, the Edomites. We were the smallest of all the nations. So we weren't the original everything. You got to get the real history on that. We'll teach you that in the Israelite School of UPK. Somebody said, blame yourself first. Who we blaming? By saying who he is. You so caught up in the oppressor's propaganda that you already got a thing to say that we're not even talking about. Stay on topic. Listen to what we tell you. Stop thinking just what the oppressor tell you to think. Anytime somebody say something different than what the oppressor taught you in kindergarten, you ready to say, they taking our jobs. Go back to Africa. You got all these little sayings in your head because you thinking the same thing as the oppressor. Pay attention. Listen to what we teaching. You listen to when the oppressor told you that garbage he taught you. When he taught you that garbage about Columbus discovered America, and Edison discovered the light bulb. You didn't even question that. You didn't say, oh, well, let me double check that. You ain't double check nothing he told you. Everything he told you, okay, that's fact. That's good. Yeah, that's the truth. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else they got to say. Somebody said, no, not that. Somebody said, what is unicorn for? That's a great question. All right, the unicorn stands for the tribe of Ephraim. It's the standard or the symbol of the tribe of Ephraim, the Puerto Ricans. All right, We're not talking about, we're talking about Boricua Tainos, okay? That's what the unicorn represents. So it's a very important symbol. It represents, because back in the day, when the kingdom split, the northern, as you read this in the Old Testament, the book of Kings, when the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom split, the tribes split into two kingdoms. The tribe of Ephraim was the king and head tribe of the northern tribes, which is today would be the Latino tribes and the native tribes. Anybody who was native to America before the rest of the people of the nations got here. From North, Central, and South America. This was the leader of that tribe, the Boricuas. All right, the Ephraim, Aparia. Ephraim, look up Ephraim. All right, that's what the unicorn symbol symbolizes. All right, it's very important. Let's see. They said you got shoulder pads on. I guess because you look too swollen or something. All right. Somebody said a unicorn is a rhinoceros. LOL. No, it's not. I know a lot of people try to bring that out, like, oh, the unicorn is a rhinoceros. The rhinoceros has one horn. Unicorn means one horn. It should go together. Rhinoceroses actually have two horns. Most of them actually have two horns. All right. And that wasn't the symbol in the scriptures. Okay. Somebody said, what's your opinion on? I'm not going to talk about that guy. Somebody said, how old is this dude? He must have been there in that time. You ain't gotta be there in that time to understand history. You need teachers to understand history. That's how you understand history, by learning from learned men, studying. You understand? And the main history is in the scriptures. And you need the prophets of the Israelite School of UPK to break down the scriptures. You ain't gonna break it down on your own. You ain't gonna just open it up and say, okay, Revelations, the dragon said this and that, the woman said, so I know the scripture. You ain't gonna understand that way. You reading the scriptures in the New Testament, it was Ethiopian reading that book of Isaiah. And one of the disciples came to him and asked him, understandest what thou readest? And he said, how can I unless one man should guide me? That's what y'all need to learn about. Y'all need to get guidance from the Israelite School of UPK. Okay?
But it's funny, it looked like they went back in time when everything they claimed.
Mm-hmm. And let me see in the chat. Do we have any Spanish speakers in the chat? Anybody in the chat that only speaks Spanish? Because I had a brother break something down in Spanish real quick before we close it out. But I need to know, does anybody in the chat understand Spanish? Where my Latino tribes at? Where my northern tribes at? You Latino, South America, someone from that speaks Spanish. Where you at in the chat? Let me see. Let me see something from you. Type something in there. Somebody say, yep, here. Okay, Mago, you in the chat. So yeah, he's in there. Tell him just a quick. Tell him who we are, what we teach a little bit in the Spanish, just real quick. Just simple, short though.
Yes, sir. Somos la escuela conocimiento práctico y universal debajo del comandante general Yahana, y lo que enseñamos que somos las 12 tribus de Israel. Si usted es monero, nativo, indio nativo o latino,